warming up here somewhat. Because right now it's like 50, like 53, 52, 53.
Wow.
So it's warming
I'll
up a
take
little
it,
bit. It's
man.
supposed to,
I'll take it.
I mean, it's supposed to get like, hot next week, like up in the 70s.
Oh,
I don't know how
we
that's
are
going to go, but hey, we'll see.
we are live on. So
So we should be
yeah,
live on YouTube
we are live on
and
YouTube.
anything
It is 10 o'clock.
else. And looks like we are live on the radio.
Okay, that's good.
So,
Hopefully, if
so it looks
my
like
power
James is
holds
running a
out
little bit
here,
late.
got to dock his pay. Okay, that we don't even have. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, today's supposed to be -4. Well, I guess that's with the the wind chill. Okay. Anyway, it
Uh,
is 2:01. It is time for Model Citizen. Um, um, I'm sorry we've been away for a while. I've been doing a lot of shoveling snow and stuff like that for people. So, um, um, I'm your host George Dayer. I am flanked by my two wonderful, actually my wonderful hosts. The Angry Stuff IT nerds, Gilbert Floyd, and
hey, hey.
hopefully, uh, Printmaster James will be here. I don't know what he's doing, so
So
yeah,
he'll be here
again,
eventually. You know.
he'll be here at James O'clock. So whenever James shows up, that's when he will be here. Model Citizen is brought to you by Tenna Controls, tennacontrols.com, makers of lighting boards and lighting kits for all types of models. Tenna Controls, bringing models to light. And by AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey. If you cannot get to their Magnolia, New Jersey store, they do have a website called megahobby.com. We have no guest this week. We are guestless. It is Super Bowl weekend. I'm sure you don't want to listen to me prattle on about models. You want to just go.
Start making, start making them snacks.
Yep.
And
Start
hey, what's
making
up,
those snacks
Harley?
for Super Bowl. Oh,
So
Harley's here.
yeah.
Hello, Harley.
Uh,
So,
hey, what's up? What's going on, Chuckles?
and Chuckles is here. Oh,
And
okay.
so look at me.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm losing my voice here. So, yeah, in the pre-show we were talking about the new 1/32nd scale runabout kit, which has it is a it is 3D printed. It is made by a model company in the UK called Cosmic Scale Models. The kit is 750 pounds sterling. I think that equates to about one. It's like $1,021 US, and it dwarfs the AMT Ertl kit by by a couple of feet. So I think the AMT Ertl kit was I think it clocked in at 15 inches. This model clocks in at like 20. It's like 28 inches long, and that's just the
and
exterior for for over $1,000. So if
and
you
according to Google, it is $1,021.16.
there you go.
So that's a that's a hell no for me.
Yeah.
And it's not because not because of the price or anything like that. It's simply because it's like this. All right, I could just use that to like get a printer and
Oh,
make everything that I want, or I could invest that into getting the metal casting kit that I want, and then from there make 3D molds, and then make any and everything I want from there. So
make your
it's
swords.
like
Yeah. There you go.
yeah,
Make
exactly.
swords, axes. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, and I could make a runabout. I make two runabouts. I make it metal. And you, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you go to Thingiverse, Thingiverse has a lot of free,
Actually,
STLs you can buy,
so,
and
yeah.
then
See,
uh,
actually, I'm going to tell you, well, Thingiverse is a great resource for anybody into 3D printing. Thingiverse is. The site that you really want to go to is called Yeggi, YEGGI.com.
yeah,
What Yeggi is, it is, it reaches all across all of the different sites that offer 3D prints, for sale. And it brings them all together into one spot. So you'll get, if you look for, like, let's just say, since I'm looking at a Doctor Who thing in front of me. I'm looking at a portrait in front of me. So let's say you're looking for a version of the TARDIS. If you go to Yegi, it pulls every version of the TARDIS that's available on every 3D website. Free, paid, from Thingiverse, Colts 3D, Render Hub,
again, probably Game Body.
Game Body as well. Yeah, like it searches every. Like I said, it indexes all of the sites that have 3D prints available. And whatever you search for, it'll scour through all those sites.
Nice, very
So,
cool. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it now on my phone. It's really cool.
so that is, so well, like I said, Thingiverse, great site to go to. It is. However, you can get all the same results and then some with Yegi because, like, again, it scours every place. So, just a little
Very
hint,
cool.
just a little tip for anybody that's into 3D printing and looking for places to find some models.
Hmm. Thank you. That's yeah. This is very interesting. I have to take a look at that. I see. I see some of the um some of the hyperlinks that go to Thingiverse. So yeah,
Yep.
very interesting. Cool.
And it pulls free models, paid models, whole nine.
Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, 3D printing. I'm not made for 3D. I mean, I could. I could. I mean, I could possibly figure it out.
It's a learning curve. It's a
Yeah,
learning
it's a
curve.
learning curve.
I personally, I I think maybe it's because of the printer that I have for the filament printer that I have,
Mm.
because the one that I have is an Ender 3 Pro. That's the one I started out with. It's it's a printer. That's the
Mm.
best way to put it. I mean,
It does its basic stuff. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
basic
It's
printing.
I say it's a good one to start out with, to kind of learn from. Then you realize is that, oh, there are better ones out there, and I wasted my money on this, and this shit sucks.
But
Or
yeah,
that's just me. I think that's just me and my experience with it.
you're yeah, but you're like you're not using the 3D prints. I mean, are you using them as the models themselves, or are you using them
Like,
uh,
oh, as far as like
to
functional
like
wise,
mold them and then create?
like something, from the mold.
Right.
Uh, no, I don't have I haven't started with making molds yet
Okay.
because what I'm thinking about doing, I'm gonna start and see how well it works with making a 3D print mold,
Oh,
testing out on a
okay.
small scale so I don't use so much resin.
Right.
See how well
Right.
that works out. If it works out okay, then I may continue to do it on like, smaller stuff and then eventually work my way to, bigger things.
Right.
Or, which I'm probably going to do because I see it all over through YouTube and TikTok, is using the sand and packing it down
Oh,
with like damp
the,
sand.
right.
So there seems to be a lot more tutorials on that than there is using 3D molds. So I think I may do that.
Yeah.
So it'd be just a
Three.
case of like printing a 3D model out, putting the impression of it in the sand, and then pouring liquid metal into the mold and then letting it dry.
Right. Yeah.
Which
There. Yeah.
sounds
There's a
easy.
little bit more. It sounds easy. I tried it. I've done. There. There is a site called Micromark. They do a lot of hobby stuff like trains and stuff. They also, but they actually have
Mhm.
tools for models. But they were the ones who first got me started in mold making, and they have ingots of like pewter, like lead free pewter where you can make like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, you can make anything. So I basically just made. I was trying to
Mhm.
make a goblet at the time because they had these
Okay.
pewter goblets that I had seen, at the Ren Fair. The one guy said, "Oh, I just take these and I cast them in sand," and I was like, "Okay, what kind of sand?" And he never told me what kind of sand he used, but he's like, "So,
Trade secret,
um,
man. Can't let that out.
can't tell you that." So, but um, the thing with Micromark is you can use their low temperature metals, which is lead free,
Hmm.
crown pewter, and you can use silicon molds. So I made
Okay.
a silicon mold of a goblet, and then I tried it. It actually worked. It didn't work out, you know, as great as I wanted to. I basically got, like a basic shape, but the sides,
Okay.
like some of the sides turned out um too well, like some of the sides, like turned out too thin. There wasn't an actual um uh the was it the pewter when was like when it was hot and when it was molten, it didn't flow
Hmm.
right, and it um so there were some sides of the goblet that were thin, some were thick, and it just cured like very very quickly. and
Okay.
and I I was kind of new, to molding. I had only molded things, in polyresin, where
Hmm.
when polyresin sets up, it it sets up uniformly, around the thing. I can make the goblet out of polyresin, but then I tried it in
Hmm.
pewter, and it didn't. It just didn't want to work, and it wasn't like. And my mistake was I thought it was kind of like polyresin where I could pour in a batch and then make another
Hmm.
batch and pour it in. You got to pour it in all at once. So you have to figure out um, how much material you're going to need and then pour it in. But
Mm.
when you're pouring it in, it the sand mold should come out uniformly. It like if you're going to make a
Hmm.
goblet was very very difficult to make because it has Um, it has an exterior, it has an interior, but the interior had to. Um, I'm trying to think. Because because the goblet mold had to be turned upside down. You're pouring it from where the base would be. So you
Okay.
pour it from where the base would be. It's actually pouring the sides, and then um, the interior of the cup, the round part, which is actually the bottom, you know,
Okay.
was not. Yeah, it just didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out. And the one guy said, well, you're doing this wrong, and da 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 da. So I kind of learned, but at that point I was just doing all polyresin. I was like, you know what, I do it out of polyresin. It's easier for me to do it that way. But I'm I mean,
Hmm.
I tried it. And he said, you can make daggers and you can make swords and all this other stuff. And I was like, no. I was like, I was like, I said, I learned from my friend, he was the armorer, at one of the Ren fairs. He
Okay.
said, you can pour, he goes, you can pour a sword, in crown pewter. He said, but when you take it out of the mold, it's going to look fantastic. Okay. You're going to, he goes, but it's,
Hmm.
but he said, the core of the blade, is, if it's not steel, if it's not a, like a certain steel, I think he was using 24 gauge steel,
Okay.
I think, but he was heating it up, you know, and he's hammering it, and he's heating it up and hammering it and
Hmm.
folding the metal. When you
Yeah.
fold the metal, you're stretching out the metal when you're, actually hammering it. And he goes, and that's how I make the sword. And he goes, and I said, but couldn't you just pour the sword? And he goes, no. And I was like, I said, why not? He goes, he
it
goes,
it don't quite work out so well.
it doesn't, no, it doesn't work out that way. He said, because when it cools too fast. And when they're doing swords, he says, he doesn't put the metal into water, he puts it into oil. So he
Hmm.
actually, he quenches it into oil, and then he pulls it out, he puts it back into,
Into the
the
fire,
furnace again, yeah, into
yeah,
the
into the
fire
furnace,
again.
and then let it
And then
heat up more, and then take it out and
the
hammer it.
oil basically, catches fire and
Hmm.
puts like a uniform heat, over the metal, so you can bang it out, and then,
Hmm.
like, like you could bang it into shape. And I was like, oh. And he goes, you're stretching the metal. But he said, when you quench, I said, so if you quench it in water, he goes, if you quench it in water, you will deform the metal. Okay. So the sword won't come out straight. It'll come out like that. It'll be like,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, and I was like, oh. And he got, so yeah, I learned, I learned a couple of things, and I was like, so I'm just better off making the damn sword, out of polyresin, and coating it with, like fiberglass or something like that. He said, yeah, you could do it that way. And so, yeah, I don't do medieval stuff. I've
No, I can't
um
do that because that's too much for me, and I'm too impatient for that. Like I can't. I can't.
chainmail. You never did chainmail stuff.
Never tried. Never wanted to because nah.
I did chainmail. I actually had to fix something that one of my friends, I guess he wore chainmail to the Ren Fair, and he got it caught
Mhm.
on a tree, and when he yanked it, it ripped,
Oh.
all the coil, like, it ripped a few of the coils out. And I was like, how the hell am I gonna fix this? And I'm like, ah. So he brings it to my shop, and I'm like, okay, I'll say, oh, the thing, and I did these, and then like I was hammering them and everything, and but yeah, because there were at the time there was I don't know if it's still there. There's this thing online called Museum Replicas, and they were
Hmm.
selling actual full, armor, like knight's armor, like the helmet. I used to
Okay.
know all the parts, um, of the thing. It was like the pauldron, the
With the
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 chest,
curious
like the chest piece, and also, yeah, I
the
forget what they're called.
curious
Right, the cuirass, and
all the other, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I used to know all the
Okay.
parts. I've thus
So,
I mean,
the
like,
leg, the leg
I've
part,
since yeah,
the arm part, the
yeah, the arm,
the,
the
the head
shoulders,
part.
like this part, the forearm, the gauntlet,
I know
and then,
the glove part. I
yeah, the
mean,
the glove part. So, hey, James.
Hey, sorry about that. I could not find my phone
Oh,
for
okay.
some reason. I thought maybe if I dropped it in the snow or something, but yeah, no, I finally found it. So sorry about that.
No, that's right.
oh, I'm glad it wasn't in the snow.
Yeah, that too.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, definitely. Uh,
So, yeah, we were talking about armor, and we were talking about uh, using 3D printed molds to make metal parts,
mhm.
out of either pewter or whatever. And talking about my friend who used to he used to be the sword maker at the Ren Fair, and in New York, the one guy I knew,
Oh, the
and
Renaissance Fair.
yeah, Renaissance
Mm.
Oh,
Fair,
that's the one at what, in Orange County? The one that
yeah,
you have? Yeah,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
and I was talking to him, and um I and I said, hey, can I make a sword out of pewter? And he was like, out of pewter? What are you, nuts? And I was like, well, I mean, I see the thing you could like pour, like you could pour the metal. And he goes, no, you can't do that. So,
That's a
and
soft metal, right?
yeah, it's a soft
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd probably lose its shape pretty quickly, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I said that. I
Yeah.
I said he was using, yeah,
See,
but
Chuckles in the chat's asking, was your friend's Mal just butted, riveted, or welded?
it was riveted, I think.
Or is it male? Sorry, male.
Oh, the male. Oh,
There was an eye
um,
in there. I didn't see the eye.
it was. Oh, space helmet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll show that to you. You finish your story.
All right. Let me see here. I have to find the. I I think no. I think it was butted, actually. I don't think it was welded. The museum replica stuff that my friend used to get chainmail all the time, and then I found a chainmail kit that somebody made. It wasn't on Etsy. I don't think Etsy was there at that point. Somebody made a chainmail kit. I found one at one of the Renaissance festivals. I think it was the one in New Hope, when I went to New Hope. And I said, "You make this kit?" He goes, "Yeah, it's just a bunch. It's just a bunch of core." And it was funny because it looked like um it it looked like the keychain coils. That's what it looked like. Like
Oh,
you put
yeah.
like the keychain coil, and I was like, "Why don't you just get a whole bunch of keychain coils and put it together?" And then my friend was like, "Well, no, it's not gonna look right." And blah 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 blah. So I was like, so I was, because I had, I had to fix his chainmail, and I was like, and it tore it got caught on a tree when he was at the one Ren fair, and it it ripped, but it ripped from the metal. It ripped off from the metal, and I was like, well, I said. So then I said to myself, well, wait a minute. If it ripped from the metal, we can use the metal to hide where it was riveted or where it was like where it was attached. So I used a keychain coil to fix it, and you really didn't see
Okay.
you didn't see the ring, like the keychain ring that was underneath the metal. And then I basically just I put like I put like a rivet in it, and then I hammered out the rivet, and then the rivet was still there. It had the hole in it, and he was like, "Well, it has a hole." And I said, "I'm not done." So I got that lab metal stuff that I told you about. The lab metal. It's like that aluminum. It's like an aluminum. They made what I think they have it on Micromark. It's like aluminum dust or aluminum shavings in this body filler type stuff, and you can actually fill in metal with it, and then when you sand it, it gets real shiny like metal, so it doesn't even look like had any damage. And I used that, and then he was like, "You fixed it. Oh, that's great." And I was like, "It's passable." I said, "It's passable. Just don't get it caught on." He goes, "Well, I was like, don't walk through the damn woods. Walk through the path where there's no twigs or anything, and or like branches." And I was like, "Oh, thank God." The stuff I have to do for people. So, but yeah, we were talking about that. You have a space helmet? I want to see that
Oh
space
yeah,
helmet
yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
love space helmets. I'm
I
sorry.
do too.
Is
And
it
it's funny. Yeah. I actually, it was like when a couple of weeks ago, it was like when we couldn't do the show. And anyway, so I decided, okay, well, fine, like, because like the weather's obviously horrible outside. And I said, yeah, I need to watch a movie that I've always wanted to watch, but I haven't watched it in a while. I mean, I haven't watched it at all, but I've always wanted to watch it. And it was this film, Moon Zero Two. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, Moon Zero Two.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
Catherine Shell and
yeah. James Olsen.
James Olsen.
Yes, yes. And who
Okay.
anyway, but that's all it is. But I was watching this, and I was like really admiring like the spacesuits, because they kind of had like a little bit of a kind of a Major Matt Mason sort of look to them, and I like the fact they were different colors and stuff. And actually, it's surprising me because I'd heard a lot of bad things about the movie.
Mm.
It's like it was supposed people say, it's stupid, and this, that, and the other thing, and not very good. And I was surprised how much I ended up actually really enjoying it. It's like it's kind of silly in parts, obviously, but
I like the was it like the lunar module transport ship that they have.
yeah, yeah,
It,
yeah. That
it's
was
got
like, yeah,
it,
it's
it,
got
it
like
it
a
Okay.
looks
lunar,
like the lunar module, but it
or was it
basically
extra?
has this middle stage in it,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
real
yeah.
tall, and
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Well, that's actually kind of the joke of the movie is that like this thing that's the name of the ship is the Moon Zero Two, and it's
right.
supposedly so old that it was like back like from the 1960s or 70s, but this guy's still flying it. And so there was like a lot of neat humor and stuff to it. But anyway, I was like looking at the helmets in there, and this isn't actually um, a
Oh,
reproduction of the helmet, but
that's cool.
um, but
Oh, that's
I
pretty cool.
wanted something like in that style, with that, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to have like the visor or whatever. But it turns out I forgot I had done like a scan of this the GI Joe helmet
Oh, right.
Oh,
from
okay.
the astronaut. And so I took that as kind of like a reference shape, and I sort of
Mhm.
like it's kind of like remastered it a bit. And it's still some variations from that too, because I like the because that one is kind of more like kind of cuts across here like with an oval. but
Right,
I
right.
wanted something that was like a little bit more like the Mysterians, a little bit, with
Yeah,
the
it kind of
yeah,
looks like
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
it looks like a widow's peak almost, like a widow's
Yeah,
peak right
exactly,
there. Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly what I was going for. Yeah, I don't know why.
nice.
That's exactly the word I had in my mind. Or the idea I had in my mind. Um, yeah, but it's maybe a little bigger than it needs to be.
Oh
But
yeah, that's
but
good.
this is just
Oh,
like the
cool.
first draft of it, and so you know probably gonna do a couple other ones, but this one's gonna be kind of like my test. So I'm gonna put like some fiberglass in there.
Yeah,
This was done up
Okay.
in PETG, so it's
It's solid.
you know
Yeah.
it's very solid,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
printed with a fair amount of infill. But it took me like a couple of tries because I was trying to find like where do I should I put the supports in there, because that adds like a lot more
The
you know
one,
So,
I
time and
mean,
effort to
I know you can
yeah.
3D print it, but when I was doing, I I did a space helmet for a commercial,
Oh, really?
and they wanted me to do a space helmet for a commercial, and I was like, it's like, how am I going to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And I found, I mean, I didn't have 3D printer at the time. I found the light globe from Home Depot.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
it's like 12 inches
Okay.
in diameter. The
yeah,
globe.
yeah,
It
yeah.
had a 5-inch, I guess, hole to put onto the post for the light.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to cut it. I had to cut it to about maybe 10 inches to fit my head through. I was like, okay, so I have the helmet. I was like, how am I going to do the neck ring? And I was like, so what I did was I got 2 Home Depot buckets, and that ring at the top where you would actually put, like
Yeah.
a thing.
Like
I put the 2 together, and I was like, and I made some sort of like like a latch, so you could put the helmet on sideways, and then you could lock it in. And then the
Oh.
other piece I made was I cut the where the rim is of the bucket at the top. I cut it so that there was kind of like a piece that comes around, and then just oh, sorry, you're talking to your son? Oh, he's muted. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, I made a piece like a flexible, I guess, like a flexible piece that you could put on your shoulders, and it would hold it on the shoulder.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the neck ring would be right there, and then you put the helmet on.
Yeah.
And I made the
Okay.
whole thing. I sculpted out everything, and I was like, well, wait a minute. And I said to myself, wait a minute, I don't have a visor for it. And I was like, because it was a solid piece, and I cut it, and then I had to find a smaller. No, I found one that was clear. Yeah, I found one that was clear, and then I had to make a pattern out of paper and put that pattern onto the clearer one, transfer it there, and then I cut it out with a Dremel tool, and I took that piece and put it into the helmet.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes, well, does the visor flip up? And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
you didn't say that.
I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you didn't say that. I was
Yeah,
so,
Yeah, because I mean, there's like some movies, they have it where the visor comes up, and in a lot of other movies, well, some of them the thing doesn't actually come up, but if they got like pieces in there to make it look like it can, but they never open it up,
Maroon.
Yeah.
Maroon is one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Where they had like the big red space helmets.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it has the visor in it, but the visor doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't come up. You just have to unhook the helmet and take it off.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Now,
That really kind of complicates the whole design, like you said, because you got to get it the right angle and
yeah.
and
'Cause,
so it looks right. But
Choco's
yeah,
in the
so
chat
that's
here.
so what I'm going to do for this is that I'm going to take like put like a sphere in here, and then kind of
Mhm.
make like a negative of this, and so it'll kind of cut out of the
Okay.
sphere.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
what
yeah.
the things be, and so then that way I can use that as like a buck, and just I'm going to try to heat form I'm gonna get some Pet G, like because I
Hmm.
noticed there's like this one company, Green something or other, but they make like this kind of plastic that's made for making visors,
Oh,
uh,
Oh,
oh,
that's
okay,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's
using
cool.
heat
Cause
forming, as opposed to just like using like a heat gun and then putting
mhm.
it like over a pattern. Then that way I can hopefully. Anyway, this is more like an experiment, and just kind of learn more about like like one to one, like props. And so I've always wanted to make a space helmet, a
Yeah.
decent looking space helmet.
Yeah.
But
Chuckles here in the chat says, I'm guess talking to you, James, that that helmet could be finished with some ballistic padding. If you have like military friends, they'll be able to get you a foot like
oh,
a
ballistic padding.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
finish it up with that,
yeah.
and then add what he refers to as called webbing, which is like
Oh, right,
the
yeah.
straps and the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
strap
Actually, I have
harness
a
holding on. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like a semi-reference. I actually like, I guess like 20, 25 years ago, or maybe even long, whatever, right when eBay first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I like maybe like that there was some guy that was in Russia that was selling um high altitude like
Right.
MiG fighter jet pressure helmets, because
Yeah.
they have to wear pressure suits when they're up there. And so he was
Uh huh.
selling these actual like Russian helmets, with the visor and everything else, had like a built-in like defroster and everything, but it also had like the like whatever it is that like they wear, like where it connects the neck ring and all that stuff. So it's
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so
yeah.
I got that. So I got that for like $200 or something. It was like a chance. Okay, I'll send this guy $200. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. But sure enough, a couple weeks later, I got this. So I have like this actual. It looks like a space helmet. I'd bring it out of the attic sometime and show you. But I ended up. Not long after that, I started noticing people started using that same helmet for like space helmets for like TV shows and things
Yeah.
like commercials
Nice.
and but it's like as near as it's really cool because it has like the headset that comes with it with the microphone and
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wear
Okay.
that and it's got like the hoses coming out from like the.
Do
So
you
that's kind of,
you
Yeah. Yeah.
remember you remember a movie called Firefox
oh yeah. It was
with Clint
definitely something
Eastwood?
like, yeah.
If you look at it was a special system where you had to think in Russian to
Oh yeah.
fire the missile and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, thinking
Those,
Russia, that part always made me laugh. So
those props are actually microphones. It's the old 60s microphone,
oh yeah.
because basically it's two cones and it's like a ball. It's like these two cones that are welded onto this ball. So if you look at the helmet that Clint Eastwood's wearing, he has
Yeah.
the thing right here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, they took two microphones apart and they put those pieces right there. It's like, that's ingenious. That is
Okay.
ingenious. I was
First
like,
off,
that is so cool.
well, the first thing, how do you think in Russian?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how does
Well,
that work?
apparently he was supposed to be able to talk in Russian, but the whole thing, like it was supposed to, it was just ridiculous, thinking
was-
that line, like,
Like, I mean,
everybody thinking Russian,
just-
thinking
I'm like,
Russian. I was
think
like, how does that work?
Russian,
and I was
what?
like, I remember, I was like, my dad and I, we both looked at each other like,
Since
what?
you're thinking, right? How are you supposed to do that? Like, I mean, does like the USSR flag? Like, do you have to
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
thinking of that or something? I don't know. How's that work?
Yeah, that was just like, yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that because it's in the movie Deal of the Century with Gregory Hines, where he's
Yeah.
flying against the robotic drone.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
got the helmet on, and it's the white helmet that the other guy had from the other Firefox, the second
Yeah.
Firefox. And I'm like,
A little prop reusable there. I never noticed that before. 'Cause actually, I quite like that Deal of the Century. I like that movie, even though Chevy Chase is in it. It's
yeah.
but that was a Greg Jean, the
Yeah.
model.
Mhm.
I forget what the name of the drone or the anti whatever. But I always thought that was like a really cool design. And of course, find out it was Greg Jean.
I may have to ask you to make me a helmet because I have I'm looking into doing like my own YouTube channel, but I need kind of like I I'm gonna have to I have to build props and models and all this other stuff, but I probably need a helmet. One helmet I would love to have and collect, which I'm not a collector by any means. I make stuff for people. It goes out of my shop
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, I'm pretty
gone.
much.
Mhm.
I used to be a
One
collector,
thing I
but
would
yeah.
love to collect, one helmet I would love to get, Voyage to a Prehistoric Planet.
Oh my gosh, you mean Planet Burga, the
Planet
Planet
Burr.
of Storms? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love
Oh, I've always.
those
Okay.
helmets are fantastic.
Oh, I always loved them,
The
and that was.
clear,
Yeah, I.
the clear helmet, you just flip it up, but it's actually connected in the thing,
Yeah.
and then it comes down. I remember seeing the movie, and I was like, and my my friend goes, "Did they put a motorcycle light on that guy's
Oh yeah, yeah,
armor?" And I was
absolutely.
like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's like it's like a headlight or a motorcycle light. I'm like,
yeah.
it's like just sitting there. It
I
was
love that.
hilarious.
I love the spacesuits in that. Oh, that was because actually, what this for Prometheus they had like
Yeah,
that
right.
was like that actually was an homage to those spacesuits that were in Planet of Storms.
Yeah.
I forget where I read that. Or like, it was like an interview. I don't know if Ridley Scott or somebody or the art director said, this was definitely a riff on those spacesuits and.
Yeah,
But
I
those
love
helmets are
I love
just
that. Yeah,
phenomenal. Yeah, I'm right
Nice.
with you, man.
Okay.
In fact, that it's funny. I was thinking, and I said, if I do an okay job on this, maybe that might be, my next project for as far as space helmets go. Because yeah, and the great thing about those space helmets is that because most they're in them for a good portion of the movie, walking around Venus and stuff, and
yeah,
that's always been
Mhm.
kind of like the problem with movies where guys are in space suits and space helmets for a good portion of the film, is that you can't see them really for the most part. You don't see their face, so it could be just
right.
about anybody in there. And the other thing is too is like is that even if they do put the helmet on, you can't really see in there because it's not lit up, because
Right.
you can't really see
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
So, but then when they do put lights in the helmet, it looks ridiculous because you wouldn't be able to see anything, with the
With the
reflections.
license,
Like
yeah.
yeah, like Outland. We were like, I was like, this is
I was watching Outland the other night, and
yeah,
I was like, yeah, they put, they put like the string lights around the helmet, and I was
yeah,
like,
but
okay,
you wouldn't be able to see shit,
how,
Right.
how do they go and use like a
Yeah.
mining drill with those
Yeah.
lights? I was like, what the
So
hell?
how does that work?
Because the helmet actually had lights on the side,
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
illuminate. But
yeah. Yeah,
But-
I'm not sure if did they have lights in the helmets in Alien. I'm not sure. They must. have had
yes,
some.
no, they
was
didn't
more
have.
subdued.
I
They didn't
remember
have
had the lights on the side, but
yeah.
not anything on the
They-
inside of the helmet. No.
They had indicator lights to indicate certain
Ah,
things,
okay,
because
yeah,
like when
yeah.
Ripley
Oh,
gets
okay.
into the helmet, or
Yeah,
she gets
yeah.
into the suit, in the closet when the aliens and like the
Yeah,
narcissist,
yeah.
she puts the thing on, and then when she basically zips it up, you see the thing just turn on, and there's a couple of little lights inside the helmet,
Yeah,
basically to tell you that your oxygen is on.
right.
It's not
Okay.
really lit, too well.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We could do a whole
Okay.
show on space helmets.
Yeah.
Or spacesuits.
The-
Yeah, I'm always. So those are like some of my favorite props. It's like, the movie could suck, but if they got a good looking space
So-
space helmet, it's like okay, it's okay.
Said
but-
I could tolerate it. You know, and I get it.
Planet
I get
Burr-
that. I get
Planet
that.
Burr actually had great spacesuits.
Yeah.
They had a robot.
Oh, that
Right.
yeah, John.
that
John the robot.
that big robot, and then
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
had that awesome hovercraft, the hover car with the
Yeah.
machine gun on the top. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
was awesome. I was like, this movie
That was a
has
submarine
everything
too.
that I
Remember,
love.
it could go underwater
yeah.
too. Remember that? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they submerged
wow.
it. They
That'd make
Okay.
a cool model. That thing. That would make a neat kit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about. Yeah, I thought about
That
that.
that and the spaceship. I love the spaceships that the Vega, or I forget what they call them, the Vega and the one of them
Yeah, the Vega and
one of them, they have like three ships going to Venus, and one of them gets hit by a meteor, and
yeah.
there's two left. And but yeah, those spaceships are really cool too. Yeah, yeah, that movie's pretty cool. It's silly in some parts, but I'm talking about the Russian version.
Yeah.
The voyage to the planet of prehistoric women is ridiculous, but but it does have Mamie Van Doren in it, so
That's true. Like maybe did you notice when the robot is walking and like the creatures are attacking it? Those are
Yeah.
like little Godzilla suits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those were
Oh,
guys in little
okay.
Godzilla suits. That's what they did. And I was like, those look like Godzilla. And all of a sudden I went to like the wiki page, and they said they used like little costumes of Godzilla to I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
That is awesome.
those Russian films were pretty cool. I mean, I think some of the special effects were like really, because those were done like before 2001,
Yeah.
and they're right up there on par with anything that Hollywood was doing. I think.
I think I put Mike Scott's helmet on. I think I put it on at Steve Neal's. And
Which
when
one?
you're was it the 2001 like the Clavius helmet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when you're breathing in it, you're like, I instantly felt the movie. I instantly went to that scene
Yeah.
where he's and all you hear is his breathing when he's gonna go into Hal's
Brain room.
higher memory
Yeah.
functions,
Yeah.
and he's gonna
Okay.
unlock those hard drives.
Did you know that that is actually Stanley Kubrick breathing that you hear?
No,
He actually mic'd himself and did the breathing. So, but yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's not
cool.
Keir Delay you're hearing. That's Stanley.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just I'm looking at the space helmet that you were doing. I was like, it kind of looks like a GI Joe helmet. It kind of reminded me of the GI Joe helmet.
Yeah,
And
which I think is I think this is actually based on the Mercury helmet, the
Right.
actual Mercury, like the John Glenn type of thing. So
right.
Mhm.
yeah, because it's got like the, but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if this was either the Mercury helmet or the Gemini helmet. So because the Gemini helmets are pretty cool too. They're very, because I actually saw that they actually had one at the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh my God, that place is incredible, incredible. But they have like a lot of like the spacesuits and helmets and all that stuff.
I have been to like the Smithsonian, the Air and Space Museum, and then of course just the Smithsonian. So if you go to the Smithsonian, they actually have the Apollo suits that they walked on the moon.
Oh yeah.
They had the Hasselblad camera that they used to take pictures on the moon. I was like, wow, how much is that? And like my father was like going, that like $5,000 or 10. I think at the time it was like $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that if they were trying like kind of like Destination Moon, like where you throw everything out out of the ship you possibly can. I was like, so sometimes I'm thinking, I was like, oh yeah, they did wear, obviously they did wear the suits back, that they came back, or they didn't just like put them in a box and throw them on the. But I was surprised to hear that they kept the Hasselblad camera. I was thinking that, okay, we got all the pictures, leave this $10,000 camera on the moon, and so save some weight. Yeah.
Destination Moon. Wow.
It would be funny if somebody when they got back, somebody said, "So where's the camera at?"
You wanted us to bring that back?
Said, "Do you really want us to go and get it?"
That was like like the movie First Men in the Moon, and I was like, when you see the astronauts in the beginning, right, the UN Space Force, when they actually land, I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, they had that same white. It's like a white halter that they wear, and I'm like, Luke Skywalker wore that in Star Wars. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, where's that? You know, it's like, I'm like looking at it, like, and then I think it's like, is it Bosch? One of the bounty hunters wears it, in Empire Strikes Back when they have the whole thing of bounty hunters,
Yeah.
on the Star Destroyer, and I'm like, that's the same. I'm like, that. I said that has to be like like an English thing. I was like,
Oh well, they
English,
they
it was
did
an
well
English.
they filmed both of those in the
Yeah.
UK, both of those movies. So yeah, it's I'm sure if you look close enough, you'll probably find like old Doctor Who props and everything else.
Oh yeah.
You know,
More than likely, yeah.
Like the prop masters in England using the Sterling Mark IV machine guns as the stormtrooper blaster.
Right.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That wasn't fooling anybody. Those those weapons is like, yeah, I recognize. I know a Mauser when I see one. You know, it's like,
So they're
Mausers,
futuristic blasters.
yeah.
Yeah.
the MG-42 machine gun from
Yeah,
World War
yeah,
II, the
yeah,
German
yeah.
one that they used
Exactly.
for like
Yeah.
the Desert Troopers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know?
Yeah, that was the only thing when I was watching the movie that was kind of a little bit let down when I saw like the weapons, the actual weapons that they have, because I was like,
Oh.
they're I was like, that's just World War II shit,
But they needed a lot of them, so they
Yeah, that's true.
just
So
basically
so it's like,
they
hey,
just had to redress it.
Yeah.
so all we got to do is add a little stuff on the outside of it. It'd be fine.
Yeah. What was that thing that Chewbacca had? I don't know. It was like something, but he had like those things on the side that looked like a crossbow.
Oh,
whatever.
It's
It
a
was like,
The
bowcaster.
Wookiee bowcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bowcaster. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The Wookiee bowcaster. And I was like, so it's a crossbow, and it's I was like, okay,
So it's a cross, but
Yeah.
it's but
but
it
it's a
shoot,
laser gun.
but it shoots.
Yeah, shoots
But
like-
it's a how.
Yeah,
How
that
does-
was one. Like, it didn't make much sense to me. I was like, it's kind of white. Why does he have a crossbow, but it's a laser gun?
Like I didn't understand that. I just don't understand it either. It's like it crossbow, but if I was just regular, huh?
Yeah.
But did you see in like the Force Awakens and other movie,
Not
in, like,
seen any
all
of
the
those.
movies?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
not
you
seen
didn't see
any of those films. Anything past like Return of the
Oh.
Jedi, I have not watched.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't even make it through Return of the Jedi. So,
Oh,
so a lot of people probably out there watching this probably hate my guts, but
That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot. You're not
So
not
you-
you're not a
so
Star Wars fan.
You just started a whole nerd war just now. How could you not watch that?
oh, who was it? Yeah, I was like, somebody really got on somebody really like cursed me out on Facebook, when I met that, and it was Randy Cooper. Randy
Is it Randy Cooper?
He goes, "You are a moron."
Okay.
I said, "Well, okay."
High praise from somebody with
Yeah.
bipolar, disorder. It's like, wow.
Oh my
Says,
god.
I've been called a lot worse than that, pal. So-
That's why you don't go to model meetings anymore. I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah,
why. There's blood trails from those meetings. Okay.
But yeah. People get a little touchy about their favorite,
They get a little
franchises.
yeah.
So,
They
yeah, I guess
Where are
I'm
their
the
feelings?
same way about 2001. So
yeah, they
it's like when people say, that movie sucks. I was like, oh, you are a moron.
No, you suck.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
That's funny. So, so you're gonna do a visor for
Yeah.
that helmet with
Mhm.
the flip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like a flip down.
Yeah, the
thing, but,
transition.
I'm going to use this as kind of like as like the basis for some other ones too. Because I've always wanted to do the UFO helmets, or doppelganger helmets, and anything like maybe the Moon 02 helmets too. Because those are pretty cool. And
Yeah, I like the armor. The arm.
Yeah, that too.
The,
Yeah, I'm gonna
the-
make
the
something
armor
like
has
that.
those two.
yeah.
Those two plastic. I don't know what the hell they are. I think
Like
they're for
oxygen,
like
I don't know,
oxygen or something.
emergency oxygen and things. But yeah, I always like that sort of those sort of like like and like the hard parts on the like the forearm and the legs and stuff. So they look like they're
Right.
hard plastic, So
Yeah.
Hmm.
which I thought was that's pretty cool, and that maybe that might save you a lot of you know why do spacesuits have to be soft all around? Why can't you just have like those corrugated sections, and then the rest of it can be just like a hard, like a hard shell kind of thing. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
but I'm sure they
Well,
look at that and probably, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that something like that for this thing. It's gonna be kind of like a breastplate kind of thing that it's gonna lock into. So,
yeah.
but
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Is
So
it was it, are you gonna put like the motorcycle headlight on the front?
I might, now that you mention it, because
yes.
I think they did something similar
Yes.
for the spacesuits in what was that movie? Well, I think it was called Voyage to the End of the Universe, but it's called it was a Polish or Czech film called Ikiri XB X1B or XB1, something like that. But those
Okay.
spacesuits had like a very hard, kind of like a thing, but they had like the big
Um,
motorcycle light in the thing too, which I always thought was pretty cool.
what was it?
It's like
Space Master X7?
no, Ikiri, Ikreie X1B or X1B or something like that. But that one had some
Okay.
pretty cool space, really cool spacesuits, I thought. But it was called Voyage to the End of the Universe was the American release title, and that's the one I saw
Nice.
on television. That was the version I saw on television as a kid, and it's a pretty strange movie actually, but it's pretty cool. It's got some really great sets, and special effects are some of the model work is okay. It's not really not the best that they offer, but the sets and the production designs are really top notch. So
Nice.
yeah.
So James, after we get off of here, I'm gonna send you my address.
Oh yeah.
So
The
so
scanner.
for the scanner, yeah. So
Yes.
and let me know how much it is. And remember, I'm balling on a budget.
I hear you, man. Yeah, no. I pulled all that stuff out, and I just got to I just got to go back and look at it again. I'm sorry, I got kind of the past couple of weeks have been kind of a blur, but
No, it's fine because
yeah,
same same here. Life has been lifing.
yes, exactly. That's for sure. Yeah, it's been between the.
Because
I gotta watch this thing. This looks really cool.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never seen it. Voice to the End of the Universe.
Yeah. Well, that's the
oh,
American dubbed
okay,
version. You're gonna want to see the original version, which is I think Criterion put it out, or somebody
Oh,
put it out, like did
the
an HD,
Criterion Collection.
either Criterion or somebody put it out, or Arrow, or somebody put it out
mm,
like on Blu-ray. And
okay,
I have it. I can I'll set you up with
Okay,
that. But it's got like the subtitles and everything else.
nice. It's got a robot in it too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that funky. Do they have a robot? Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got it. It's got this little, well, not little, but well, yeah, it's got like a little bubble-headed robot, kind of like like Robert from, like from Fireball XL5.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at the spacesuit now. It's got like a top light on it.
Yeah. Oh, is it a top light? Yeah.
Yeah, it's this like this.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the It reminds me of the Jacques Cousteau. Remember Jacques Cousteau used to have,
Oh
the
yeah.
series, and they
Yeah.
had
hmm
those helmets with the
Oh
lights.
yeah.
I used to love that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah,
And
that's
I
what. Yeah,
I
funny
was
you
like,
mentioned that.
yeah,
Yeah.
this helmet kind of reminds me of that. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
because it like covered like their whole head. It was kind of like if I remember correctly, it was like a whole head kind of a thing. So
Yeah,
if they bumped their head or something in a cave or something.
yeah,
So, but
okay,
yeah, those are cool. Oh yeah, and that submarine was pretty cool too. That little Calypso submarine that they
oh,
had, or that
yeah,
yellow thing. Yeah, that
yeah.
was neat. That'd be a cool model. So I'm
Uh,
surprised nobody's ever put it. Maybe somebody has put a kit out of that. So
huh.
that would be neat to do.
That's a real yeah. That's a really hard suit. Well, I guess it would be a really hard suit to build. the chest plate is fine. It's got two lights here, but um the arms and the legs are corrugated.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
I always love spacesuits with like corrugated, joints. I was like, that's what a spacesuit should look
So
like.
that's how it's
a
supposed to look.
It's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, yeah,
Or like
yeah.
like an engineering nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So
That's it. Nice.
It is 3 o'clock. I'm sorry. We have to go. We were talking about spacesuits, and I didn't get to talk about the other model I wanted to talk about today. But
oh, sorry
we'll talk
about that.
it next. No.
Spacesuits
It's
and
okay.
armor. Talk about spacesuits and armor. So
Spacesuits
kind
and
of
armor
related,
and
kind of
armored
related.
spacesuits. There you go.
Yeah.
So this has been Model Citizen. I'm your host, George Dayer. My two wonderful hosts who put up with my shenanigans every week, Gilbert the angry IT nerd, Gilbert Floyd, James Lechner, Print Master James, and I'm your host, George Dayer. So this has been Model Citizen. It is 3:01. We have to leave. Have a wonderful Super Bowl weekend. I'm
What?
not going to be watching sports, and
I did.
this
I,
is Super
I,
Bowl
I
weekend.
haven't watched Super Bowl in probably 30, 40 years now. So I'm proud of it. So,
You're a moron.
You're a moron.
What the hell are we supposed to do, you moron? So, just want to thank our sponsors, Tenant Controls, tenantcontrols.com, and AAA Hobbies. So,
And if you
been
like
Model
to,
Citizen.
if you like to advertise with us, go to gcpr.live and click on the advertise with us, and fill out the form, and we'll get your ad up and running.
And we will plug your ad on every single GCPR show.
there you go.
Yep.
Okay.
So
And that's it.
that is it. That's the show.